come back and forth.
Got it. Okay.
This is Smith on page 19.
Got it. Okay. Facing up to a year in jail and assault of a family member. Want to do probable cause, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. How would you like me to address you?
Tristan.
Tristan? Mr. or Mrs.?
Mr.
Okay. Okay. Please.
Yes, Judge. On September 29th, 2024, officers were dispatched in reference to a family disturbance at a residence in Harris County, Texas. Officers met with the complainant who stated she was assaulted by her brother. The complainant heard her mother arguing with the defendant about a stolen bracelet. The complainant observed her mother running down the stairs from the second floor towards the front door when the defendant struck her multiple times with a closed fist.
Mom?
I believe so, Your Honor. And the complainant tried to separate them by placing herself in between the two. The defendant then punched the complainant in the mouth with a closed fist, causing her tooth to chip. The complainant felt pain and discomfort. Witness, the defendant's mother, advised that she asked the defendant if he had stolen the bracelet that belonged to her, and the defendant stated he was given the bracelet by his boyfriend. The witness then grabbed the complainant's phone and was chased downstairs by the defendant. The defendant struck the witness multiple times with a closed fist in the back of her head, causing pain.
I'm confused. Who's witness? Who's complaining witness?
Your Honor, the defendant's mother is the witness, and then the sister is the complainant.
Okay, because I thought you said he hit mom as well.
He did. So he hit
they only charged with one count of assault.
Yes, Your Honor, just with the sister.
Who are you here with today? Are you here with
myself?
Okay. What do we do, guys? Done because
Can I say something?
I don't want you to talk about the case. Okay. Understand that I have, 4 district attorneys here. Everything you say, they're going to use it against you. They'll sit there, type up every single thing. So my only concern now is where are you going to go? So are you going to go back to the house?
That's where I've been at.
Judge, I want to notify the court. I got a call from an intake prosecutor a couple of days ago regarding Tristan Smith. They wanted to notify me that grandma called because the defendant went back to the house and violated a contact order. The grandma had to force the defendant out of the house. They didn't want any contact. They do not want contact, to be clear.
Don't want contact.
They do not want any contact. They want him out of the house.
Okay.
The no contact order, it was by the judge, by the bail judge. It was like I want to say like
no threatening, harassing.
Yeah, no threatening or harassing. So they said I could go back to the house because we
Let me see.
Pull it up. And Judge, to be clear, that's correct. But he could go back, but grandma didn't want him in the house. He tried to forcefully enter his way into the house.
There's a difference. So we know what we're talking about. Hold on. Oh, great. Thank you. Good job, Esme. So you're correct to an extent, right? So I'm looking at the order for protection here. The order for protection says no threatening or harassing contact with the complainant, and it looks like they took off the residential restriction, okay? However, what I like to do is I always want to honor the wishes of any complaining witness. And that when I have someone here charged with assault of a family member, the first thing I do is I ask them to reach out to all the complaining witnesses to see if they want to continue to have contact with you, if they want you to go back or not. If they say no, then what I do, I order no contact and no going over there. So what they're saying now is they do not want you to go back to this place.
But I have to be there because I'm only 17. I'm still a minor.
You have somewhere else to go.
No, and when she called the police, the police even said that there's nothing that she could do. If she was to put me out, that would be neglect because I'm only 17. I don't have anywhere else to go, and I'm still in school.
It's fine.
17 is an adult in the state of Texas. They have to find their own place. None of the family want Tristan in the house. And further, Tristan is trying to force his way in the house.
I'm doing a rip right now and
yes,
see
Judge.
if they still are.
Yes.
And if they say that they don't want you back, do you have anywhere else to go? Where else do you have to go?
Or I
What about grandma? Does grandma,
That's-
No,
Let's do it.
grandma's the one that
I'm
is one of the
adopted.
ones that don't want Tristan.
so
in the
does
house.
who, so mom, grandma, and sister live at the house?
Yes.
No,
That,
I'm sorry.
I don't know if grandma specifically lives there. Grandma's the one that,
Would you mind doing the rep?
yes, Judge.
Let's
Yes.
figure out
Yes, sir.
who lives there, what do they want? I want to honor their wishes, plain and simple, you know? You have to understand, in life, there are only so many places that you can go to, right? And if you don't have the ability to get a place by yourself and you're living at the mercy of someone else, like mom, grandma, you have to be as nice as you can, because when you don't, they're going to put you out. And if you have nowhere to go, you're going to end up on the street. And I'm going to tell you, when you're on the street, you're going to do anything and everything you can to survive. And that may be whatever you can. And it really gets bad on you. I don't want to have to put you on the street, but I got to honor their wishes. You don't own this house. I don't know. Let's
what
see.
the officers are.
Yeah, let's do this, because I'm going to give you a lawyer today so that you have someone to talk to. And then we will all get together to find out what the best way to go forward is. Okay. I just don't know if they're going to want you back. Let's see. Hopefully they will. But I'm going to tell you this, that if they do want you back, you best be on your absolute, I mean, you got to have a halo on your head, you know, because if not, and if I hear that you start acting a fool over a stupid ass bracelet that you're going to end up on the street now, I will house you myself, because I'm going to tell you, I don't allow people to live on the street. If I have to put someone in jail, revoke their bond, I'll do it in a heartbeat to protect every person of Harris County. You understand? Okay. Do you mind appointing Tristan a lawyer, and then we'll have them powwow, and then we'll wait for the writ to get done, and we'll figure out how to go forward. As it stands now, until I know that they want to have contact with you, I'm ordering you not to have any contact with them. And then we'll figure out what they say, and then we can go forward. Not about the case.
It's not about the case.
Okay.
Okay, so the only reason I say that I was allowed back at the house, because when the
It doesn't matter. If you were not allowed back at the house and you went over, you'd be charged. You're not charged with anything now. I'm not holding it against you. Nothing bad is happening to you now. I only want to know how we're going to go forward.
that's what I was trying to say, like why I'm still at the house, like why I'm allowed to be there. So my nana, the one who stays at the resident fee, she called the cops like the same day I got released, which was that Monday morning. She called the police because she was saying the same thing. I was not allowed to be at the house. The cops came and they said that only reason, even though I am 17 and I am legal age.
I don't want you to say something you're not supposed to. Just hold on. I will give you a lawyer. Tell your whole side to the lawyer. The lawyer can come to me. We'll get with the state, and then we'll figure out how to go forward. It scares me what you're going to get into. We have too many DAs here, and believe it or not, I'm trying to protect you. Okay. So there's plenty of time. It's only 10:20. Okay. So just be patient. We'll find a resolution. Okay. Really. I'm going to give you a lawyer here momentarily, and we'll figure it out. Okay. Please. Doing a new one now. I'm going to redo one saying that you can't go back there, that you cannot have contact.
So how am I supposed to get to school?
And Judge, may I just I just met my client, but my client is the younger of the two siblings. They do attend the same high school. This is an unworkable scenario for my client, because where does he go after he leaves this courtroom? I don't have an answer for that. So I don't know when the state spoke with grandma. May have been right after the event.
30 minutes ago.
And as of right now, grandma is saying that's
They both are saying
that's tough. Well, I understand the sister. I get that. Grandmother, I've never talked to her. I haven't had the opportunity to talk to her. But I would ask, firstly, and I believe I know what you're going to say, if we're able to reapproach you on this matter after a short time.
I've never not
That's the first thing, because I have to do some more work on this. I mean, I just got appointed about 30 minutes ago. I need to figure that out because I'm concerned about my client's well-being.
As am I.
I
am too.
Scholarship offer to Baylor, is a senior in high school, has potential to do well in life. And at 17, clearly not a mature adult at this stage. And so I'm trying to help as much as I can. So that's firstly, I thank you for allowing me to come back and approach them at some point. And I would just ask if the court would be willing to amend your conditions to make them no threatening and harassing conduct. Admonishing my client as much as you'd like. And if there's any inkling of disturbance.
Let's do this. What's grandma's phone number?
Can you give me social?
Yes, Your Honor. It's
Hold on.
grandma's phone number is.
Stop.
Let me write it down.
Yes, please.
Yes. Can I borrow a pen? Thank you. Last one's wrong. 8.
What's grandma's name?
Karen.
Karen? Is this Miss Karen? Hello? Oh, they hung up.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
I wonder if they think it's you calling.
Goodbye.
Well, they may say Harris County judge, and that could be scary to some folk. And Judge, I believe you know what I was going to ask. I mean, a no threatening or harassing admonishment from you after having advised my client, understanding they cannot mess that opportunity up if it were granted. I think it at least allows us to sleep well at night knowing that my client is home and not homeless, because I don't know what he would do in the alternative. Just sleep outside, or I don't know.
He says he has a place to stay with his best friend. I know.
High school kids, Judge, and this is a senior year going into, seems like a pretty decent situation given the opportunities that.
How can I let him go back to a house where they don't want him to?
Judge, and even further, the concern is that he's already been admonished by the PC court judge to have no threatening or harassing contact, and he went home and tried to force his way into the house when he was not wanted there. He does not have a right to force his way into that home.
Maybe he didn't know at the time that he wasn't wanted.
The grandma informed the intake prosecutor that she told him, she stood in front of the door and she told him, you cannot enter this home. And he forced his way past the grandma, and the grandma had to try use force as well to try to get him out of the house. He is obviously unwanted. I mean, they all want him out of the house.
I get it. We're not allowing him to go back.
Yes, Judge.
Now, Mr. Brooker's asking for is no threatening or harassing as opposed to just no contact.
But for what reason? They don't want contact with him. And justice right now, and to protect the community right now, the state's position, the only correct answer is no contact, and maybe after a cooling off period.
Hold on. Oh.
Of course, I would have to hit the red, ready.
Yes,
Oh, it's not that bad.
Has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone.
One more time.
Has been forwarded to voicemail.
They
The
don't-
person you're trying to.
And Judge, thank you for sharing that because I did not know
Yes.
that. All of these facts are fresh to me. However,
Yeah.
I think I understand the situation, having had the opportunity to speak directly with my client. Tristan's grandmother is almost 70 years old, Judge. She is not comfortable with Tristan's appearance, how she presents to the world. My understanding and belief is that this is the undercrux of this whole issue, is that they don't want Tristan around because of how Tristan presents. That's wrong. I mean, how people run their house is how they run their house, but is it a fear that something is going to happen? Or is it because of the way Tristan looks?
Judge, we're assuming.
Let me just complete my position because I don't have all the facts like you do. This is what I'm getting from the person that lives with her grandmother, his grandmother, that it's always been issues because of, as Tristan said, his sexuality. I don't think that's right. And so we're standing here. Tristan knows the seriousness of this, sees your face, sees everybody here, and understands if Tristan is admonished, there's not going to be any issues. Just wants to go back to school, finish out the senior year, and go on, maybe accept that scholarship to Baylor or go to another school that's local. It's all Tristan wants to do at this stage. Definitely understands the seriousness of this.
I understand and I get it, but we're still working on that, which is an assumption. I can't let you go back to a house that I know at this point they don't want you back. The only thing I know is that you've asked for no threatening or harassing contact.
So how am I supposed to go to school?
I'll talk to you about the judge's ruling.
These are things that you think about prior to picking up criminal cases, Mr. Smith. When you don't have other resources, you never bite the hand that feeds you. Burn a bridge because you never know when you have to cross that bridge. But the problem is this, according to them, it's not the first instance. And it's that's according to them. And if it was, then I have to think that they perhaps would want you to come back. But after multiple times, and they have a fear, they're afraid of you. That's what they're saying. I wasn't there. I don't know. But if we allow contact, what's going to happen?
Nothing's gonna happen. I didn't even mean, it wasn't even meant for her, my sister even get. I'm sorry.
What good? What purpose is there in allowing you to have contact is my point.
So I can go to school and I can graduate. And
whether you talk to them or not has no difference on whether you're going to go to school.
I understand that, but where I stay, it does. What I do, where I go after this does. That's what really matters. Where I go after this does. If I don't go back home, y'all talk about I can go near her. Then
I want to honor their wishes, and if they're telling me they don't want you back at the house, who owns the house?
Grandpa and grandma.
That's who's telling me they don't want you back.
And just for clarification, I was going to ask for you to amend the geographic restriction part of the order and include the no threatening or harassing communication. Just to be clear, I wasn't just asking for no threatening or harassing. I want Tristan to go home so Tristan could go to school and do what Tristan needs to do. But we understand your order, and I'll explain it.
You know what's going to happen? I'm going to say, okay, he can go home. He's gonna go home, and then they're gonna get a call from the grandma saying, "Why the hell is he back home? Why is he coming here? We don't want him to come here." And then, God forbid, something even worse happen because tempers are flared. He's upset already as it is. If he goes home, it's a recipe for disaster. That's why we have these cooling off motions. These
I'm not even upset. I just want to go home. Literally.
I
I
can't.
literally missed school today to come here. I was supposed to be at school today. I missed school to come here. So for the fact.
I will give you a school excuse, but Tristan,
All right.
if they're telling me they don't want you there, I can't do it. Now look, time heals wounds. So perhaps after a couple days, it'll change. The only thing I'm going to tell you is be nice. If they see that your behavior continues in the fashion that it has been, you're never going to go back. Some time has to pass. Perhaps after some time, they'll let you back. We can regroup on Monday if you want.
I'm okay because it's not going to tell me right now. They've been trying to get me out the house since I've been 15. You can check how many police calls there have been, how many times the police have been to the house. Every single time it's because they either kick me out or they want me out the house.
So why give them ammunition when
I didn't give them any ammunition?
You have picked up an assault case?
You said I can't speak about my case, so I'm not going to speak about it. So I can't speak about that. It wasn't intended for me to pick up an assault case. I'm telling you, I can't speak about the case, but everything happened by accident. Nothing that happened was supposed to happen. Nothing that happened was supposed to happen. Her doing what she did was not supposed to happen.
These are not accidents, they're choices. And once you realize that, and when you see that, perhaps changes can be made. Okay. These are no accidents. Okay. It's not an accident. It's a choice. And it's a choice that is made in the heat of the moment. And there are seldom times in life when you're put into this kind of moment that you have to step back and think to myself, if I do this, what's going to happen? If I say this, what's going to happen? You now know there are serious consequences. And I'm going to tell you now, with this assault that you have now, it only gets worse.
Right.
You have to have patience. Let's regroup next week. Let's come back. Let's call mom or grandmother on Monday. Perhaps on Monday, she'd be willing to relent to let you come back. I'm happy to talk with grandma. Perhaps you can reach out to her as well.
Certainly, Judge.
We can try to, smooth the situation out. Hopefully a couple days is sufficient to get them to calm down a little bit, and we'll go from there.
And here's the other issue, Judge. I also don't want to set the defendant up for failure. If I think you indicated defense that she goes to the same school as the sister, how do we approach that so that we're not getting a BVR?
The same classes. We have two classes together. So I'm trying to figure out if we can't be in the same class together, why we can't be in the same house together.
We're just now getting there. Right. I didn't know this.
All right. It was all in the, never mind. I'm sorry.
It's a good question. How do we do it?
We're all working through it. I didn't know they were in the same class either. I did know that they attended the same school. They're a year apart. This is why we're here talking about this now, Judge. It's a lot.
Okay, so
can we do like a no contact and no further arresting at school?
Not to have any contact with this person. If you're in the same class, okay, don't go near them. Don't have any contact with them. If they try to have contact with you, just turn around and walk the other way.
So I can be in the same class, but not the same house.
Correct.
Yes.
So we're in the same classroom, but we have two different rooms at the house, and we can't be in the same house.
Your grandmother does not want you in the house.
Right. So what the officers told me, wasn't true.
I'm telling you now what your bond condition is. Okay. If you violate this condition, I'm going to put you in jail. Right. You need to think about this now, because if you get out there, start acting, you have no one that is going to bond you out.
Anyways.
So when you're out there in the free world, Tristan, I want you to think.
Right.
Because if you go to jail and I make your bond $5,000, if you don't have anyone to pony up that money, what happens?
I'm just going to get jailed in.
Right. You think you're gonna graduate?
Might not already, so hey. And that's not no disrespect, I'm sorry. It's just something. I worked really hard to get where I am. Like, really, really hard to get this scholarship, to graduate. I worked really, really hard to get where I am. And now to be told that I might not even be able to graduate because
Who said that?
that's
Who said
I'm
that?
not gonna be able to graduate. I'm telling you right now, I'm not
Why
gonna be
not?
able to graduate. I don't have nowhere to go. My best friend, that was an if, or that I have to go outside. Her mom is a whole bunch I have to do it. Like, what? Where am I? Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out.
I have to consider the safety of the community.
Right.
I understand that it's going to be tough for you,
Mhm.
but actions have consequences. And I really hope that you appreciate what's going to happen. But I want to impress on you now that if you don't have anyone to bond you out, look at me. If you don't have anyone to bond you out and you go out there and do something you're not supposed to, or violate these conditions, or pick up a new case, it's really, really going to go sideways. You've dug yourself into a very small hole. It's not deep enough that you can crawl out of. But understand, you're skirting thin ice now. It's not the end of the world.
Right.
Time will pass, wounds will heal. But if you go out there and make moves that are not smart, choices that are not smart, you're only digging this hole deeper.
Right.
We can come back on Monday. I will try your grandmother again on Monday. I will talk to them myself.
That's in the notes.
I will allow you to report via Zoom if you want to.
Okay.
You don't have to come to court.
Okay.
Okay? But don't take matters into your own hands because it's really going to go south.
Okay.
You understand?
I understand.
He is the best in the business.
Right.
He will help you out for any issues that you need. He can get a hold of me at any time. There's no excuse for you to have contact with these people,
Right.
pick up a new case, or accidentally, oh, but I fell down and I ended up back at my grandma's house. Don't.
Right.
Don't.
So if my stuff, can I go get my things?
No.
So how much?
You cannot go back there. No means no.
I'll explain the orders also, Judge, and try to work through how we can deal with it pragmatically.
Let's come back Monday. I'll try to call grandma again. I'll try to.
And I'll work on it too, and just talk about how we can work through it.
About any MAC resources you can think about.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about those now. I don't know if it'll happen quickly, but I'll
need money for anything. We'll give you whatever you need. Just say the word.
I'll work on that today.
Okay.
Okay.
So that you don't miss school anymore. And let's regroup Monday.
Yes, sir.
Did you file a
Does he
new
need to
MOA?
sign anything?
Yeah, it needs a file the new MOA. Did you
I can file that today, Judge.
with because the other one's too crossed out, all